Hello everyone. The theme of my PhD program is new insights into viral infection-related acute pancreatitis. I joined as a participant in the PhD program late, so it would be my second progress report. My name is Gefu, and I'm a PhD student from CTM. I used to major in biology and did basic research about lung fibrosis in China. I'm glad to be here to study how the translational medicine works. I'm under the supervision of Andrea Senshi and Peter Hagi, my SMS are SD and Cindy. My vision is improving the prognosis of acute pancreatitis patients by investigating less common etiologies. My mission is to explore the effects of viral infection in GI system. Now I have two specific goals to achieve my mission. The first one is about concomitant viral infection and acute pancreatitis, and the second one is about serum lipids and the outcome of COVID-19. Let me introduce my first project, investigating the effects of concomitant virus infection on clinical outcomes in acute pancreatitis. It would be a systematic review and meta-analysis. The incidence of acute pancreatitis has been increasing for 10 years. Most episodes of AP are mild, but 20% of the patients will develop to severe and has a much higher mortality. Most deaths arose from multiple organ dysfunction secondary to infected pancreatic necrosis. In the etiology of acute pancreatitis, virus infection is not the most common one, but cannot be ignored. Acute pancreatitis can be accompanied by several kinds of viral disease, such as mumps and AIDS. In recent years, acute pancreatitis are reported as a complication in COVID-19 patients. So whether or not virus infection is a cause of acute pancreatitis, an AP patient with a concomitant virus infection might get the worst clinical outcomes. So our aim is to investigate the effects of concomitant viral infection in AP patients. We present our clinical question: what are the effects of virus infections on the clinical outcomes in AP? Our population would be patients hospitalized with AP. The exposure group and the control group would be with or without concomitant virus infection. The outcome is mortality, severity, and the complications of acute pancreatitis. We assumed concomitant virus infections such as HBV are associated with worse clinical outcomes in acute pancreatitis. Previous studies implicated that AP patients with concomitant virus need more cautious pancreatitis management strategies to get a better prognosis. So we conduct a systematic search. The first domain is about acute pancreatitis, and the second domain is about virus infection and virus disease. So after the duplication removal, we got around 8,000 articles in 3 databases. And considering a higher prevalence of HBV hepatitis C virus infection in China, we would like to check the Chinese databases as well. So we got around 1,400 articles after duplication removal. That's the flow chart of the selection. We have already finished the title abstract selection and get 2,000 articles. The full text selection is almost done, and we are doing the citation tracing, and the data extraction is ongoing as well. So let's continue with the second project, identifying the association between serum lipids and their metabolites and the outcomes of COVID-19. It would be systematic review and meta-analysis as well. So more than 600 million patients are confirmed by COVID-19, and more than 6 million patients dies. ICU mortality of COVID-19 is very high. So what are the mechanisms of SARS-CoV-2 infection? One of the most important pathway involves ACE2, which is a vital protein in many kinds of human tissues. It regulates some very important biological processes such as blood pressure and inflammation. So SARS-CoV-2 could recognize ACE2 as receptor, infecting the cells and disrupting the regulations. And adipocytes is full of the ACE2 receptors, so it could be the reason why pancreatitis or fat necrosis were found in 20 to 40% of COVID-19 full body autopsies. In this figure, we could see both pancreatitis-inducing factors and SARS-CoV-2 could cause an elevation of lipase activity, which could release a large amount of free fatty acids by lipolysis. This kind of lipotoxicity could cause cytokine storm and finally result in severe disease both in pancreas and lung. It could explain that severe COVID-19 is worse in patients with obesity. So it seems lipid profile play a very important role in COVID-19. So our clinical question would be, what is the association between lipid profile and the outcome of COVID-19? The population is COVID-19 adult patients, and the exposure is on admission lipid profile. The outcome would be mortality and other parameters about COVID-19. We assume that altered cholesterol, triglyceride, and unsaturated fatty acid levels contribute to the increased severity of COVID-19. So previous studies also implicate that identifying altered lipid parameters as risk factors of severe COVID-19 to urgent prevention and early treatment may help. Let me summarize my project. The first project is planned to be submitted in September, and the second is planned to submit it in January next year. I would like to end my presentation with the following sentence. In school and life, the most important driving force of work is the pleasure in work, the pleasure of work as a result, and the recognition of the social value of this result. Thank you for your attention.
Do you think that the COVID-19 viral infection behave differently than the so-called common viral infections that cause acute pancreatitis? Do you have any kind of data about this?
There are some mechanisms. As I mentioned, there are some cytokine storm will both happen in pancreas and lung. I think that's specific. That's a special thing.
I'm just wondering that in your first project you put together a lot of different types of viral infection. What do you think? You could analyze them separately, or what did you see about that?
Yes, I think we could analyze separately. I think COVID-19 and HIV, we have enough eligible data, but for others, if we do not have eligible data, we also collect the case report, we think it's also important even the prevalence is not that high.
I understand that you don't have the final results in your first project, but could you please tell us which viral infection was associated most frequently with acute pancreatitis?
Yes. For the recent study, I think mumps, hepatitis C virus, and HIV are most associated with the pancreatitis and SARS-CoV-2 as well.